Hello, sewing people of the internet. In this video, I'm going to discuss 4 methods I use to attach zippers to utility items like backpacks, messenger bags, packing cubes, and similar items. There's probably many other methods that one can use to sew zippers into a project, and these methods might not be applicable to things like clothing, or I don't know, I don't do a lot of clothing, but these are methods that I've found useful. In this video, I'm mostly referring to zippers that are closed on both ends, as opposed to an open-ended zipper like you would find on the fly of your pants, or a separating zipper like you'd find on a jacket. These methods might work for that too, but I'm specifically referring to closed on both sides. That includes something like a clamshell backpack. This zipper that goes all the way around here is still just a closed-end zipper, and it's just the same as a short straight section. The zipper that I use the most is the number 8 continuous coil zipper. I usually use YKK, so I use it a lot. It's a good size for backpacks and bags. It's big enough to open easily and handle well, but it's not too big. If you end up buying zippers that are pre-packaged and already cut to length with stops on either end, you can always get one that's too long and cut it to the length you need and just use it as if it were a continuous coil zipper. Some zippers also have teeth. These are plastic teeth. This is a separating zipper, so it comes apart, but if I wanted to use it in a pocket and not have it separate, I could just cut it off and make a new tab for the end and use it just as if it were a standard zipper. So a zipper is made up of the zipper itself, which is either a coil or teeth, and maybe some other methods, but those are what I'm familiar with. And then that's attached to whatever you're sewing it into by the zipper tape. This is a cloth ribbon that's attached to the teeth, and you sew to that. Some zippers will have a metal coil or metal teeth, so you may want to use caution both cutting that with your good scissors and also when you're sewing over. We're not going to sew over the teeth in anything we're doing today, but ultimately you have to either to make tabs or to sew the zipper into your project. So if it's got metal teeth, you may want to hand wheel the machine through that to make sure you don't bend or break a needle. Before I get started, the names or descriptions I'm using for these 4 methods are just what I am calling them. I don't know if there are actual names for them, but if you know something more than I do, then feel free to post it in the comments and let us all know. So the first method I wanted to discuss is the single fold method. And I want to point out before I do this that there are some materials I would never use this with. For example, this is some ripstop nylon, and this stuff frays really badly. If you do a single fold with this kind of fabric, there's nothing to stop that fraying from continuing, and eventually it will cause a failure in the seam between the material and the zipper. The single fold can be great for materials like inner tube or Tyvek or other materials that don't really fray, and you can reduce the bulk of the seam by only having a single fold. So the way I like to do this is I start with the zipper facing up and then have the good side or the right side of my material facing down on top of the zipper. You could baste this with basting tape or staples, but I find it more efficient to just use a row of stitching. Technically you're just basting it, but you're sewing it to the tape, but then we'll put a top stitch after that. When I sew this first line of stitching, I want the edge of the zipper to still be visible. I don't want to completely cover it with the material like this. I want to still see a little bit of that zipper tape sticking out. Now with that sewn on, I can just fold it over, and now I'll top stitch it down. When you fold the material over, it's a good idea to leave a little bit of clearance between the material and the zipper coil to try to prevent your zipper slider from getting caught up in the fabric. So the next method I want to show you is the double fold. For the double fold, I like to use this double-sided basting tape. I get this from Sailrite. There's a couple other places you can get it. So I first apply the tape to the right side, or good side, of my fabric. I would use the double fold method, particularly if I'm using material that has a tendency to fray, because it provides more protection from fraying. This is also a good method to use if the back side of the material might be more visible, because it provides a cleaner appearance. So as I have the basting tape on the right side of the fabric, I just fold it over and then fold it again, and that will adhere the fold down. And then you can just sew that fold to your zipper tape. Depending on your application, you may want to run a second row of stitching. To do that, you can use your foot to line up on the first row of stitching to keep the second row looking consistent. You could also use a double needle or a double needle machine if you have that. The double fold method provides much better protection for the raw edge of the fabric to prevent fraying. I pretty much only use this single fold method for things like Tyvek that probably aren't going to last long enough to fray anyway, and it's not a fabric that frays, or if I'm in more of a hurry and don't want to spend the time. But most of the time I use the double fold method. The third method I want to talk about is the sandwich method. This is for when you are working with an exterior fabric and an interior fabric. You don't have to do this. You can treat the interior and exterior fabrics as one fabric and either do a double fold or single fold. But this is another way to do it. To make the sandwich, place your interior or liner fabric right side down, and then the zipper right side up, and then your exterior fabric right side down on top of the zipper. If your materials don't have a right side and a wrong side, then which side up and down doesn't matter. You could use clips or staples or tape or whatever you need to baste these pieces together if you wish to. The edges being completely perfect doesn't matter quite as much with this method because the raw edges are going to be protected inside the sandwich. Now when you flip the fabrics, from the outside you have your exterior fabric with the right side facing out, and from the inside you have your liner fabric with the right side facing in, which is what you want. To top stitch when doing the sandwich method, it can be a little tricky to get the fabric folded over consistently on both the top and the bottom. So if you're doing a really long section, it might be helpful to apply basting tape inside the fold so that your fold stays in place, and then top stitch it. For the fourth method I want to show you, I've brought you to work because I need to use my binding attachment and I have that on my industrial machine at work. But you could do this on a home machine as well, depending on the materials you're using. So just real quick for the binding, I'm using a swing away binding attachment. It's a 1-inch attachment. I'm using 1-inch mil-spec 4088 binding or webbing. Depending on the materials you're using, the equipment you're using, there's several different options like grosgrain or other bindings you could use. So feel free to experiment with that, but the method is basically the same. You could use this method if you are doing an exterior fabric and an interior fabric similar to the sandwich method, or you can do, as I'm going to do here, with just the one layer of fabric in the zipper. One other tip, if you're able to, maybe more so with this method than others, getting rid of the zipper slider or having it not in your way is advantageous. So depending on the construction of what you're making, if you have the opportunity to just separate the zipper and then install the slider after everything's put together, that can be very helpful. especially with larger size zippers. The slider is not going to be able to go through the binding attachment, so that might create some difficulties. This method is quite simple. Set your fabric down right side up, your zipper with the tape to the edge like this, and this is going to fold over and you'll top stitch just like the other methods, and then just run it through the binder. Sewing this on this way protects your raw edges in basically one step. And now I will fold this over and top stitch it. I especially like using this method in things like duffel bags. It provides good protection for the raw edges. And again, it's pretty quick and simple to do. So those are my 4 favorite ways to attach zippers in utility type projects. Again, there's probably several other ways to do it, and some of these ways may not technically be right, but they've worked for me. If you have a different method that you like to use, post it in the comments section below. If you have questions or other comments, post those there too. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. If you want to support what I'm doing here, you can always help me out by checking out my Teespring store and pick up a t-shirt or a coffee mug or a sticker. Clicking like is also an excellent way to let me know you like what I'm doing. And if you don't like what I'm doing, then feel free to click on the thumbs down button and post a comment. Let me know what you don't like so I can try to do better. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. I'm just going to be here for a while.